There's no place in America for this kind of violence, for any violence ever. Period. No exceptions. We can't allow this violence to be normalized.
Well, first at 6 here on Connecticut's news station, President Biden calls for national unity in the wake of political violence and attempted assassination of former President Trump.
We have to come together. We have to realize that rhetoric divides us.
Calls for unity coming from elected leaders in Connecticut. We have more on their message and what's being done to make sure our state capitol is protected.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
6 o'clock on a Monday morning. Good morning, sunshine. Thank you for waking up with us here on Fox 61 and Fox 61 Plus. I'm Symphony Privet.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Governor Lamont has already activated the state's extreme hot weather protocol. That is going to last until Wednesday. So that means if you or someone you know needs help getting away from the heat, you can just call 211 and get detailed information about cooling centers and other important resources. You can also, by the way, find a link to 211's website on our website, fox61.com.
Yeah, now for just how hot it'll get today, let's check in with meteorologist Matt Scott. You told us about this last week. Now it is finally here. How bad is it going to be?
Well, last week was the story was, oh, how long is this going on? And
Yeah.
we gave you today's, and you're like, now we're right in the thick of it. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you stayed cool. Here's what we've got with this weather watch alert: high moisture in the skies and the atmosphere. A few low clouds this morning. Now this afternoon, the heat and the humidity percolate. The heat indices between 95 and 100, and that may lead to a couple of storms late in the afternoon. It is a very isolated nature of those storms, but they still have some punch. Storm Prediction Center has us under a level 1 risk. That's a marginal risk for severe weather later on today. We'll show you that in just a moment. Right now, the clouds, they're in place. I mean, it is certainly murky and the air feels heavy. Big storms just to the south and west of us over Long Island from about Comac back over to Great Neck, down on the south shore of Long Island. You've got some lightning strikes there. Look at the numbers between 68 in Willimantic and 76. 77. I can't leave New Haven out. 76 in Bridgeport, 75 in Bridgeport. Your dew points in the low 70s generally across the board. So obviously it is humid. Now, about those isolated storms. Let's start the guidance at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Let's go 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock. Did you see that? Blink and miss it. But as it fires up, it gets strong. So we need to watch carefully. A few of you may need to take cover rather quickly as we go through the afternoon. So hot, humid, isolated storm possible. Temperatures getting into the low 90s, but feeling a lot worse than that. How long? I've got that answer in a 7-day. There is relief coming. We'll talk about that coming up. All right, let's go to the roads right now. Symphony's doing traffic right now, right?
Yep.
Yes?
Yep. Alrighty, thank you, Matt. Starting off with a crash out in Stafford that happened earlier this morning. Right now, Route 319 is closed at Route 190 due to some wires being down from a crash involving a dump truck. Looks like our Hartford camera was down out there, but we know things are moving smoothly out here. So far in the 6 o'clock hour, drive time's looking good. No delays on 91, 84, or Route T. We have your next update coming up at 6:30.
Well, this morning, former President Trump is preparing his acceptance speech at the upcoming Republican National Convention now, only about a day and a half after surviving an assassination attempt.
Yeah, that's right. Now, Trump is calling for unity and resilience after a gunman shot at him at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Now, we do want to warn you, the video you're about to see is of the moment of when that shooting happened.
Really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Moments after the shooting, Secret Service agents helped Trump get back up on his feet. Now, the former president raising his fist, showing his supporters that he's okay.
Yeah, we're going to show you a picture taken by an Associated Press photographer of Trump. You can see blood running from his ear down his face, raising his fist to the crowd. Now, Trump was one of 3 people hurt in that shooting, and another man in the audience was shot and killed. That man was 50-year-old Corey Comparatore, a firefighter from Pennsylvania. Bystanders called him a hero for throwing himself in front of his wife and 2 daughters to shield them from the bullets. Pennsylvania's governor has ordered flags to fly at half-staff in that state in Corey's honor.
Former President Trump arriving in Wisconsin last night after spending the day at his New Jersey golf club. Officials at the RNC say the convention in Milwaukee will proceed as planned. The former president says he will not allow a shooter to change his schedule. Trump also told the Washington Examiner that he threw out his previous speech for Thursday night and will instead write a speech that is more unifying. Since the attack on former President Trump, President Biden has held several news conferences to update the American public on the investigation into the assassination attempt.
Yeah, let's show you a picture of the president and vice president being briefed Sunday in the Situation Room. President Biden has ordered an independent investigation into the shooting and has urged Americans to stay calm. Biden spoke from the Oval Office last night, calling on everyone to reject political violence.
A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We cannot, we must not go down this road in America. You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that.
Meanwhile, the Secret Service is investigating how the shooter was able to get so close and into shooting position without agents noticing beforehand.
The FBI identifying the alleged gunman as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, which is just 50 miles south of the shooting scene. The FBI says it believes Crooks acted alone and was not previously known to law enforcement. The Associated Press reports the AR-15 style rifle he used belonged to his father. Moments after the first shot was fired, Secret Service snipers quickly shot and killed him. As of last night, the FBI said they are investigating the shooting as a potential act of domestic terrorism, although they haven't said what his potential motive was behind the shooting. Crooks is a registered Republican, but authorities say it's unclear what his political leanings are or if he was motivated by an ideology. A federal finance campaign report shows he gave $15 to a progressive political action committee back in 2021. As for the rally, a witness sharing what they saw the moments before the shooting.
We're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see it from right here. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage?
The FBI also says the alleged shooter had no history of mental health issues.
Now, the first day of the Republican National Convention is today, and while excitement is generating, so are fears, with the event taking place just 2 days after the assassination attempt of the former president.
Yeah, Connor Hansen is in Milwaukee this morning with the latest on the security measures as reactions to this weekend's attack continue to pour in.
Security was already going to be extremely tight here in downtown Milwaukee for the convention, but now, just days after the attempted assassination of a former president, we can expect to see even more today for the start of the Republican National Convention.
Everybody's on eggshells here.
The assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump sending shockwaves nationwide, especially in Milwaukee, where tens of thousands are gathering for the 4-day Republican National Convention.
This is probably one of the most secure areas on the face of the planet right now.
Despite the horrifying events over the weekend, the Secret Service says their security plans remain unchanged. For 18 months, the Secret Service has been preparing to make this one of the most secure places in the world.
We worked in a bipartisan way with members of Congress to increase funding for this event because they had been stuck at $50 million going back to 2004. We got it elevated to $75 million.
This comes as President Joe Biden condemned the violent attack Sunday, stressing the need for peace during an address from the Oval Office.
Disagreement is inevitable in American democracy. It's part of human nature. But politics must never be a literal battlefield, or God forbid, a killing field.
Trump issuing similar sentiments, posting, quote, "Unite America" to Truth Social. But as the investigation into his assassination attempt presses on, officials still don't have a motive.
Well, this morning, police have increased their presence at the state capitol here in Hartford because of the assassination attempt.
Yeah, political leaders in Connecticut continue to condemn the attack. Let's check in with Fox 61's Angelo Bavaro. He joins us live outside the Capitol building in Hartford with more on their message. Good morning, Angelo.
Hey, good morning, guys. And we have seen a flood of those messages pouring in as political leaders on both sides, they come out against this attack on former President Trump. Governor Lamont, in his statement, saying that political violence and gun violence have no place in our society of any kind and are never acceptable. And that's pretty much the message we have seen at every level as people continue to take in the images showing chaos at that rally over the weekend. The videos and pictures of the moment former President Trump is shot at and then rushed away from the scene, now serving as a reminder of a very dark day in U.S. history. Not only was this shooting an attempted assassination of a president, but this also killed a rally-goer and seriously injured 2 others. The shock and horror of all this really crossing party lines here in Connecticut.
We have to come together. We have to realize that rhetoric divides us, and unfortunately, in some cases, it leads to terrible violence and tragic actions.
People are coming together, doesn't matter what party, what political party you're in, to say that this is wrong, to denounce it, and I think that's extremely important.
Now, Connecticut Capitol Police tell us they have increased security patrols in the wake of that attack in Pennsylvania. People will notice heightened measures inside the buildings and around the Capitol complex here behind me. State police say they are in touch with federal intelligence analysts, and they say right now there is no information to suggest any type of connection between our state and what happened at that rally. We are live outside the Capitol this morning. I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Angelo, thank you. And you can count on us here on Connecticut's news station for all the updates into the investigation of the shooting at Trump's rally, as well as coverage of the upcoming Republican National Convention. We'll have updates too throughout the morning here on Fox 61 and on Fox 61 Plus, as well as on our app.